Hey everyone, welcome back to Doom Productions. Doing a little Filmmaker Hangout today, continuing our series retrospectively, looking back on our work and seeing what we've learned since then and kind of just looking back on those projects and giving some tips and some things that we would do differently now and just kind of enjoying some of our old works and that you guys can go check out. We have a playlist called just like our greatest hits, Doom Productions greatest hits, so you can check that out right now. It's going to be over Jordan's head is a little card you can click on, or you can just find a link in the description. This week, we're covering two projects, technically. So we made a zombie short film as our second big short film. It was called The Beat My Heart Skipped. And this was like kind of our biggest project in terms of like casting. It had like special effects, zombie makeup, all of that. And then we also, a couple months later, you re-edited the entire movie. You like cut down the length by like half, if not more than half. And it's like black and white and all of this, and the new version is very different compared. So and by the way, we also in the first version used copyrighted music, so you're not gonna be able to find it on our channel just because it's restricted in the US. If you've got a VPN, you can check it out, or there's a link below to a Google Drive folder where you can watch that movie unhindered.
So before you move on, just go ahead, watch both of those, because we're getting to spoil. Not that it matters. Again,
it's not 2013.
What I would recommend doing is watching the old version, so the Google Drive version. That's the full movie, pretty much the original version. Once you're done with that, check out the black and white version, which is in that playlist. It's on our channel. And you will see that, like, trust me, like, it'll feel long watching the old version. You'll be like, I want to watch. But if you watch the new one, it's going to go by quick. Trust me. But yeah, I have no memory of how this project came about, other than I had this idea, and I brought scripts this week. This is the first time I'm unveiling this.
Exclusive
unboxing. Here's the script. It looks like I wrote it 6/1/13. So June of 2013.
We didn't shoot much longer after that.
No, I think some of these are marked off. Why did I do this? Oh, I'm numbering scenes because I was typing this out all in Microsoft Word. Yeah. Oh, another script.
We print off several copies for our actors, so we have
like
an obscene amount of scripts of all of our old projects. As
kind of, me, if you know anything about us. Yep, look at all this.
Storyboards.
I am a huge...
We are a huge fan of storyboards.
Are you? I love storyboards, and I've been doing this since forever. And every single cut is pretty much there. You can kind of get an idea. Lots of storyboards. The whole movie was totally visualized. And as I said, I do not remember at all how this project came about, other than I had this idea. I wanted to do a movie set in a farmland, countryside, where it was two people in a house during the zombie apocalypse. They couldn't talk to each other, but they would hold up signs, kind of like in Dawn of the Dead, the remake. Although I don't remember if I'd seen that at that point. But they talk to each other. They play music for each other, and they try to meet, and they fall in love, and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of the idea. And I think when you watch the first version of the movie, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough to say the least.
Pacing is slow.
Pacing is very slow.
Yeah.
And I think, rather than kind of talk about everything that went on with this movie, I think there's two main takeaways I had from this movie. Oh, look at that. This dates back to 2011. I have OG drafts from 2000. Whoa. Hold up. I'm serious when I say I haven't looked at this stuff. This is a handwritten paper. Look at this. Notes. I know you don't care, YouTube, our audience. Wow.
There's 3 of you who really care, though.
There's 3, yeah. The screenwriters and stuff. So, okay. So, 1 draft, 2
and it was
draft.
called Zombie Love in its earliest form, it looks like.
Yep. Which is kind of a terrible title, but I remember the title is definitely a struggle to come up with. The Beat My Heart Skipped, I think, came about because music was a huge part of the original story. which was edited out of the re thing. Sorry, I got so distracted. Back to my 2 points. Here's my 2 takeaways. The first one is about acting and like getting actors. When you are acting, when you're trying to get people for your movie and you're first starting out, you want to be. I find, at least I had a tendency to go like 100% when you should find people to meet you halfway. And I don't mean anyone on set was like bad or anything in that, because everyone was actually did really, really awesome. I actually don't remember how directing everybody was. I can't remember if it was a hassle or not. I think it went really smoothly.
I remember everyone being happy about the day and enjoying it.
I remember like so much of my energy was put into, are they happy, and trying to please everyone. So we were there with all these zombies, all these extras, all these characters. I get a huge table of food and stuff. And I remember thinking, I wasn't focused on the movie. I was like, are they happy? Are they having fun? That kind of thing. So I wasn't in necessarily the movie making mode. So, which, I mean, you should be hospitable when you're making a movie to some extent. You should be trying to take care of your actors and crew and whoever's on set and all that kind of thing. But I think that you can't. In my head, it was like, if I have lots of food, they will want to come at least just for the food. And if someone only wants to come for the food, you probably don't want them on your set, period. But there was no one like that, I think, on the movie. I think there were just lots of people who were hanging out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have all the leadership skills back then necessarily to hoard everyone. So I'm sure, like, in my head, it was like crazy, but they were just doing their thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
One of our first times bringing a lot of people on set, so everyone knew at this point that we were making movies, and it was kind of at that point where everyone was like interested.
Yeah.
Like all of our friends wanted to know what our movies were going to be, and so when they got a chance to be in them, it was them very genuinely like, oh, cool, I get to be a zombie in your movie. That's great. Yeah. And so that was the mentality I feel like everyone had on set, and it was great. Yeah.
So I think that was a big takeaway. It was just learning how to direct lots of people and what kind of people you want and how you should prepare. And so, I mean, when you're getting just friends, it's fine, and that's all. That's good because they're just friends. That's all you're going to have access to. But it's good to find people who are interested and, just on a person-to-person level, like, if you ask your friend to help out with something and they come to help out, don't worry about if they're enjoying, like, how they're doing necessarily to an extent, because they agreed to come. You know what I mean? Like, if I ask you, like, hey, could you help me move a couch? And when we're like moving a couch, I'm like, are you doing all right? You want to? And I'm just doing that the entire time, and I'm worried about how you're doing. It's like, dude, I agreed to. I knew what I was signing up for when you said we were gonna move a couch. Let's do it. So I think that was kind of a thing that I went through on this one, in particular.
Yeah.
The other one is the importance of editing, and just how different how much a movie can change just with editing. And I don't want to go through every single thing because it's way too much. Just watch the 2 versions of the movie and you'll see how much, like, one is better, one is not better.
Yeah.
There's things about the longer original version that I love, but just as a whole, it's not as good as the other one. And the main reason is editing. I really learned how to edit and, like, kill your darlings and reshuffle things and reuse different clips and all that stuff with that one. And it was also like the original version wasn't even. There's a whole opening sequence that was cut out of that original version that I see in my storyboards.
Right. I remember we shot it though. We just never used it.
Yeah, we never used it. So editing, I mean, I really learned how to edit on this one. But you were there as an actor. So what was your perspective on the whole day?
I mean,
because we shot only one day.
Yeah, it was just one long day. It definitely felt bigger, like scale and scope wise, than Rendezvous Midnight did. I mean, that was like a harder shoot in its own way, with like the weather being, especially our first day.
Yeah.
But like that was the first time it's like we're starting early, to show up early for makeup to get our zombies all done before we could really start shooting a whole lot, and then we shot all day. So I remember that it felt big.
Yeah.
And so we were like, there was just a lot of like, it was an event. And
yeah.
I know a lot of the people who played zombies, like I got a bunch of friends from my school who weren't like in our usual like collective
Circle,
friend
yeah.
group. So it was in like more just my group. So it was kind of like, yeah, I mean, it felt like, how are you describing, like, other like, oh, what am I trying to say here?
Everyone was just hanging out.
Everyone was hanging out.
and having
That's really what
fun.
it boils down to. Yeah, everyone was hanging out. It felt less like a movie shoot and more like we were hanging out, and we just happened to also be getting shots of people as zombies.
I think where that kind of helps me to explain what I was going through, because most of the movie is not the zombies.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like you and me.
Yeah.
Or me and who's the other person?
Maria.
Yeah. So it was me and one-on-one with the cast members and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So when the zombies weren't needed, they were just hanging out. And I think in my head I was like,
are they bored?
Are they bored?
Yeah.
Or, do they expect something from me? Or do they do they want to be involved and that kind of thing? So it was kind of trying to balance that, just being aware of how people were feeling and managing my own expectations and theirs and all that kind of stuff. But no, it was, I mean, looking back, I think they probably had a good time, everyone.
I don't think anyone would have complained about that.
No.
Shooting day. I remember at the end of the day, specifically when we were cleaning up, there's some pictures actually on our Facebook page of us like all hanging out in like the parking lot. And we were like, everyone felt really like we did it. Like everyone was really happy about the project.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, listen, like, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from asking your friends, because obviously friends are you have, and my point is, like, know how to deal with people.
Yeah.
And that's my sister, if you can't hear, the ghost from October.
She's a lot louder in real life.
Yeah. She actually speaks. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so really, you just kind of have to know what to expect, and you have to have your friends, when you ask a friend to come and help out with the movie, tell them what to expect. I would say, if you're gonna, this would be a good video in its own, actually, but like, if you're bringing a friend along, be very clear about how long it's gonna take, what is gonna be asked of them, and benefits, if any. So, for instance,
health insurance.
Health insurance. I wish. Like, hey, we're filming from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. You're going to have to do some running around in a parking lot, but mostly you're standing around, and we're going to have pizza. No pizza, sandwiches.
Yes.
Don't listen. Yeah, not pizza. And usually something I do is I always say, I give an extra hour or two on top of the time, just in case, because if I think we're going to go from 3 to 6, and I don't know how other people plan, but some people will be like, oh, 3 to 6. So that means at 6:30 I can plan this other thing out. So and if they think it's 3 to 6, but it takes longer, then it's like, oh geez, like I got to go, and then we're going to lose an actor. So instead, what you want to do, add on like 2 hours, and it might be harder for people to commit, but I guarantee you that when you wrap early, which we usually wrap early, they will be happy. They'll be so happy. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I thought it was going to take 8 hours. That only took 6, that kind of thing. And people are going to feel like, great, like we accomplished something. They got some food. They ended early. I mean, what's better than like
getting off work early?
Getting off work early, exactly. Like, it's a great feeling. So schedule, when you communicate with your actors or your crew or whoever, just be like, it's going to take this long, but add on 2 hours.
And something on top of that, I mean, this is something I noticed even yesterday. When we do go overtime, we just ask our actors, are they comfortable with going over? Because it's like, hey, and this was when we were filming yesterday's Video Carnage with Travis. It was like, hey, it's 9:30 when we said we were going to finish. We have a couple little things we still need to get. So we're going to take another 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Either we can end now if that's what you like giving them that option, like not like feeling like they're held hostage or anything, but at the same time, like if you want to keep pushing, we can get this done now.
Yeah.
And usually they're happy too.
Yeah.
To, like, do that.
Just ask them.
Open communication.
Open communication. What else was my thing when I was getting your friends? Tell them what to expect. So time, what they're going to be doing. Listen, like, don't have them show up like, and they're supposed to be giving a bunch of lines and stuff if they're not prepared for that. Tell them, like, you have this your lines. Give them the lines beforehand. Or in the zombie case, like, hey, you want to come and be a zombie? That's pretty inclusive. Like that, like
anyone can be a zombie.
You pretty much like you know what you're getting into when you sign up to be a zombie. So, I'm gonna get some makeup on. I'm gonna just run around. I'm gonna growl, all that kind of stuff. So they know what they're getting into with that way. And then I think I did tell people like we have food, like so, come and eat and that kind of thing. Yeah. What else?
Well, let's get into the editing.
Should we?
Do you want to?
We can.
I feel like, because I don't remember much of production stuff. I mean, as an acting standpoint, it was very straightforward because I had like no dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I did better. I didn't understand how to act with my face and like silence.
How long do we have? I actually lost track.
Oh, we're 60 minutes. We're halfway.
Okay, halfway. Cool. Let's get into the pros and cons actually.
Okay.
I think that might be a little more helpful. So talk about what worked, what didn't. What are the pros? Give me one pro. We'll go back and forth.
I mean, the fact that there wasn't a lot of dialogue, you could get through things a lot quicker. It's like, hey, Ethan, because I'm acting through a wall because there's a window between me and you for most of it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like direct sometimes. So it'd be like, hey, look angry. Hey, look sad, and like give me these and then like, okay, you're angry now. Now look, like change your expression to this or that, and like those kind of things are like really straightforward and easy for like actors who don't have a lot of experience to get into, and like it just makes things quick.
Yeah. Pro for me, I think, with the movie. I do love the use of music in the original version, but also in the re-edited version. I mean, I think the using only music really helped because it's supposed to be a silent movie. So I like the music choices, but I don't want to say any more because I get into more pros and cons. But what's another pro with the movies? Either one.
Pro would be, I mean, black and white.
Black and white.
There's just something. Color, like when you're starting out, is really hard sometimes. You don't think about white balance. You don't think about just the cohesiveness of your shot all the time. And you shouldn't. I don't think you should at that point. So the easiest way to get around that is just to start in black and white. It's going to hold up more. I think Rendezvous Midnight holds up so well because it's not in color. And when you watch both these versions, not that the color version is bad. There's actually some great shots, like the sunset at the end particularly, but it just holds up.
The edited piece holds up more because of the black and white.
Yeah.
Another pro is the black and white version no sound design pretty much. It's all music or like the little static of like a record player. That little crinkle, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
That going minimal with your soundtrack will make your sound better. Like it'll sound more professional because in the OG version there's all these sound inconsistencies, the levels aren't all right,
like
there's
audio
room tone,
hiss.
there's hiss, there's
Bad.
it's not well put together, the audio stuff. So remove all that, look the black and white version, and it's like, oh, this is actually like sound wise, like this feels kind of cohesive.
Nice, yeah.
So yeah, it works. What's another pro of the movies? Or one? I guess by this point it's like what worked in the black and white and what didn't work in either.
I mean, just like brevity. I mean, it's just like the fact that like you cut out so much because there's a lot of extra steps to get to certain points.
Yeah.
But you're very direct in the edited version, the black and white version for Heartbeat, because the reasons the zombies show up is because you play a song out the window in the color version. It's too loud, so they hear it and then they show up in the next day. And so it's kind of like this roundabout way to get to it. Not that it's not clear, but you just, in the other version,
Cuts
the
out
conversation
all the
ends,
yeah.
they go to bed, you wake up the next day, there's tons of zombies, she's not at the window, you get, oh, something's wrong, and it just goes into it.
Yep.
You cut out minutes of footage.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just cuts out all the fat. It really shows you how much of your movie you can like take out, and it's still your movie, and it's better for it. I think another pro is definitely the I mean, as we'll show you the storyboards, but it was all visually you could understand what was going on. I think taking away the sound wouldn't have worked if it wasn't so visually like clear. So I think maybe not in terms of composition all the time or like the quality of the shots, but I think in terms of what's happening, like what does that character want, what's he looking at, where is he trying to go, like that is all very clear. And I think that's a huge bonus for the movie.
Totally.
Cons.
I mean, like, I think a con was our inconsistency in audio. Like, because we ADR'd parts of it, but we didn't do the whole thing.
Which I don't know why.
Especially in some shots where it's like, I mean, there's no dialogue, but there's just a couple, and the mic is like clear across the room.
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't we just get that line real quick? You can barely see my mouth. It would have been hard.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Yeah.
So, like, just taking the extra day to fix all those weird things and bumps.
Yeah.
I think
would have gone a long way.
It would have made the other piece hold up a lot more.
I think so too. I agree. I think another con was we just, in my head, I was like, we're gonna have this whole army of zombies, and it's like we just had our friends, and
like
so it's like
6 people,
and it's fine and it works, but like build up to that, because in the beginning of the movie, I'm talking about the colored original version, it should have been like one zombie in the field, and then everyone should have shown up. But in my head, I was like, well, we're gonna have a handful of zombies here, and then we'll have more show up, and I guess it'll make sense. But it didn't make sense, because it just looked like it was the same people, it was the same zombies.
Didn't even wardrobe change.
No wardrobe change or anything. So I think it would have been better to, like, I should have worked with what I had rather than trying to do what was in the script and the storyboards.
Yeah.
So the zombies, I mean, the zombie makeup looked great.
Yeah, that
really
looked
good. Fantastic. It was just how we used them, I think.
Yeah.
Another thing we could have done better.
I mean, I think we've kind of gotten to the heart of it. I can't think of any that isn't kind of covered in the pros as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have another one?
Trying to think. I think. Window reflections are important. Take care of that.
Get a CPL filter.
Yeah.
If you don't know techie stuff or camera equipment-y stuff, just get a CPL filter. You twist the thing, reflections are gone.
Yeah.
Also, your skies get more blue sometimes.
I think that's the only. It isn't. I don't think it's as striking or it doesn't look as good as Rendezvous Midnight, the black and white version. Window reflections are some of that, but I also think it just wasn't as well lit. And I think it's a good argument for your single point lighting, because with Rendezvous Midnight, a lot of that was just one light just blasting them in the face from one side.
Super great. It looks super dramatic.
The lighting is very inconsistent in this zombie movie. So
yeah,
I think that's a pay attention to your lighting. Yeah. Well, that seems about. Did we cover everything?
I think so.
How much we got?
We got 7 more minutes.
Oh, 7 more minutes. Okay.
But I mean, it's 2:05.
Let's just do a reading of Great Expectations.
Yeah.
No.
Well, since we wrap early, you guys can get off set early.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But check out Heartbeat.
This ending is a mess.
We don't know what we're doing.
No. This is supposed
if you're
to...
here this far, I hope you guys appreciate our stuff.
What's... Yeah, because we went over everything. All, like, the main takeaways. What's the next movie? What's the next movie?
I think it's Man with a Mustache.
In our
playlist. This is your guys' homework for next time.
Homework, yeah. Here's the homework.
In case you didn't know, we don't plan these videos out ahead of time.
No, these are supposed to be very casual, so there's a little more like...
Man with the Mustache, followed by For a Few Mustaches More.
Okay.
So check those out.
So I think we'll do just... Each one will be its own thing.
Yeah.
Because I think. So,
yeah.
Man with the Mustache, Few Mustaches More. I've said it before, but For a Few Mustaches More, that I think is the most perfect thing I've ever directed. Like, from conception to creation to, like, how it turned... Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
But for Man with the Mustache is good, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Yeah. But check those out.
Check those out.
Check out our zombie movies.
Yeah. Give them a share if you like one of them. That'd be kind of cool. Well, you're only going to be able to share Heartbeat.
Yeah. And listen, if you watched it and you're like, oh, this is rough, like, make a better movie. Because it's not hard. Because these are our early movies. So they're really, really rough. They're not polished. It's kind of hard watching them sometimes. But, I think most people could do better than what we did.
Yeah.
I think. It's not hard to beat our quality
yeah.
back then. So if you see it and you're like, I could do better, then go out there and do better. Let it be
And
an
then
inspiration for you.
Brag about it. Too.
Yeah.
Like, show it to us. Be like,
Yeah.
dude, your guys' movie sucks. Check out mine.
Yeah, no.
We would love that, actually. That would make us so happy to see.
That'd be cool. Be like, we saw your movie and we were like, we could do better than this, so we did do better than this. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be offended or anything.
No. Only happy.
That would hurt a little bit if you did that with House though, or like October.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. That would hurt.
That's cold. Those are our babies.
That's cold. Those are our new ones that we enjoy. But with their old stuff, that's all fair game.
Yeah.
But check them out, and maybe, I don't know, make a zombie movie your own. You don't always.
It's great.
You do not have to. They always say write what you know, or just film what's in your. I don't like doing people talking. I mean, I did people talking movie, but I like all movies. But I love genre movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that I can't do an action movie or crime or a zombie movie or a horror movie, you absolutely can do that with no budget. And check out Rendezvous Midnight and Heartbeat. Those are two no-budget genre movies.
Yeah. And your friends are going to love it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of many other shoots that our friend had so much fun on as the ones where they're genre pieces. They get to dress up as something or pretend to be something. It's like going to a Halloween party with all your friends. It's great.
Yeah.
But they have like something that comes out of it other than a hangover.
Yeah. Whereas if you're like, come to the set, we're doing a hardcore drama about like a guy who's trying to reconnect with his father. There's going to be lots of crying, that can be fun too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think when you're with friends, I think they really love genre pieces where it's like, I can be a zombie or a cowboy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah.
That wraps us up.
Yeah.
So, subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you guys in the next video.